What is up, my dudes? Jesse Mails here, and this is a bag of fly foam. Alright guys, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite types of fly foam and what I use for different patterns. If you're a beginner fly tyer, this video should answer a lot of questions for you on how you need to be using foam, or at least the way I use foam in a lot of my flies, like the poppin' flat shrimp, like the flathead floating minnow, and like these wigglers I've been tying. Now all those flies use different size foams in different ways, and that's kind of the key to using foam, is finding out the density, open cell, closed cell, and the thickness of what you're going to need for each fly. Now the first one that has been around for a long time is the poppin' flat shrimp, and this fly is sort of a staple in my saltwater box. It's great for redfish, snook, baby tarpon, sea trout, the whole shebang, and it uses two different types of foam, and this is 3mm and 1.5mm foam. The body on it is made with a 3mm to give a good stiff sort of popping tail on it and to allow buoyancy, and then what I would say the crown or the head of the shrimp is done with a 1.5 on the back. Super cool fly, and it combines those two foams in a way that makes sense for that pattern. The other one does a very similar thing, and that's the fathead floating minnow. This fly, super effective snook fly, really super effective all around for a bunch of different fish that eat minnows, which is pretty much every fish. This fly uses 2mm foam, but what we do is we stack it, glue it, and trim it. And you create this sort of floating head to the pattern that gives a good profile, sort of an erratic action, depending on how you strip it. And it kind of just darts along on the surface, which is perfect for feeding fish, bonita, stuff like that, where you want the fly sort of to stand out and you're casting maybe into a bait pod or something. But it's also a good search pattern to cast on the flats, along mangroves, you name it. It's a great fly, but it stacks 2mm foam in a pretty unique way to create the head. So can you do this with 3mm? Yeah, probably. Can you do it with 1.5? Yeah, probably. But I've found that for the space that we have on the shank of most of these hooks, and for the size of the pattern that we're tying, the 2mm foam works best. Now the other fly is sort of like a wiggle minnow pattern, sort of like a diver. And I've been using 6mm foam to do this fly. And it's sort of tied in a unique way, because you have to tie the material all the way up to the front. Then bring your thread back and palmer the material back to your midsection, and then slide the foam on and fold it back and tie it. You want a real stiff foam for this so that it can handle the water pressure as you strip and actually pull the fly down. If you're using foam that's too weak, it's not going to get the same action on the fly. Also, using fluorocarbon leader or even like a sinking line, an intermediate line, is going to help pull this fly down and get you right in the zone of the fish and allow it to sort of wiggle around and have a bigger draw to the fish. This one, like I said, you really can't skimp. 6mm foam is the way to go. If you're custom cutting, don't cuss. If you're cutting custom foam that you bought at a craft store, just make sure that it's a stiffer foam and it's something that can handle the weight of the fly as you're stripping it to pull it down. So that's it, dudes. Super simple sort of recap of the types of foam that I use most and the fly patterns that I use them on. If this helped you guys, leave a comment below. If you want to see me talk about specifics on either of these patterns, please leave me a comment in the section below as well, and we'll get to that. Thank you guys. Smash the subscribe button, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, you know the drill, and I'll catch you guys later. Deuces.